It appears that Diddy's worst nightmares are coming true since his industry enemies are going out of jail a bit earlier than Diddy had expected. Yeah, guys, word is on the street that Suge Knight is coming back to the real world, and apparently, these rumors terrifies the music mogul more than anything else, knowing their longtime beef and many dark secrets behind the scenes will Diddy go down after Shug's release. Let's dig into the details. Hi everyone, and welcome back to Celeb Live Channel. Suge Knight has not been in the news too much recently, but whenever the world talk about him, it is worth listening to. Apparently, this man is one of the most terrifying and dreaded figure in the hip-hop community, and they say that Diddy, who spreads terror in the industry these days, is scared out of his wits thinking of Shug coming out of jail real soon. And boy, this man does want to get out. Shug has already tried multiple tricks to get out of prison. From COVID to blindness, nothing has worked for him. However, the hip-hop community has been recently speculating that Shug and his lawyer, the infamous David Kenner, have finally found how to knock off 15 years. And if you somehow missed that story, Shug was basically doomed to rot in jail with a horrifying 28-year sentence. But what does it all mean for Diddy? Well, as insiders claim, Shug is not coming out to spend his days in retirement, and he plans to be back in the game. And apparently, punishing everyone who runs his mouth behind his back while he's behind the bars is one of the first things on his to-do lists after being released. As it was stated, Shug is eager to come after the industry villains and expose more secrets that could potentially shake the hip-hop community and bring down even the most powerful people who, according to Shug, made it big while he was behind the bars. Well, it's not hard to decipher all these messages because they surely sound like a warning to Diddy, and it seems like Diddy has a lot of things to hide before Shug comes out and exposes everything. If you don't know why Shug is so adamant to bring down Diddy, let me tell you that the two music moguls have been on each other's throats since the dawn of time, and it all has began as West Coast beasts, East Coast beef. You see, with all this power play, these two never had a chance to become friendly, and their beef started almost 30 years ago, in 1995, when Death Row Records CEO Suge Knight attended the Source Awards held in New York City. The producer took advantage of his moment on stage to throw shade on Diddy without mentioning his name, of course. Apparently, Shug didn't even try to be vague in this situation because everyone immediately deciphered his speech as a huge insult of Diddy and his New York-based Bayboy Records. Knight said, "Any artists out there that want to be an artist and stay a star and don't have to worry about the executive producer trying to be all in the videos, all on the record, dancing, come to Death Row." Shug couldn't be more explicit considering that Diddy has a habit of participating in all his artist videos, and while the whole hip-hop community knew who this speech was addressed to, Diddy said nothing and didn't even discuss the subject. Every time when Diddy was asked about this shade, he acted surprised as if he had no idea what the issue was. While Diddy tried to pretend nothing was going on, the feud between two labels in West and East Coasts was growing as the two artists from the rivalry companies were quickly rising to fame. The issues between two labels and their producers escalated the moment when Tupac and Biggie were both conquering the hip-hop stage, and both Shug and Diddy couldn't help but to fuel this competition. And apparently, the beef went way further than promoting their artists and turned into a full-fledged war between the music moguls, and it seems like Shug had an upper hand in this rivalry considering the things he allowed himself to do. As rapper Keith Murray said he once witnessed how Suge Knight slapped Puff Daddy outside of an Atlanta club. According to Murray, one of Suge's men had recently been killed and Suge held Diddy responsible, but instead of shooting Diddy in revenge, Suge gave his industry enemy a mighty slap. As Murray recalls, one time we was at Platinum House. Shug was there. I was there, Puffy was there, and we was all partying and chilling and stuff, right? It got late, and the night dispersed. Then all of a sudden outside, I woke up and then I noticed, there's a F-dead body right there in front of the Platinum House. As Keith said, the verbal argument quickly turned into real violence. Shug was like, you all right? Puffy was there. Then all of a sudden I saw Shug smack the dog out of Puffy. I'm like, oh she, this is crazy. Him like, oh sheh, this is crazy. He brought it from left field down south of Georgia on Puffy. Murray added that it wasn't because Diddy was soft, as Keith had seen his rough guys up before, so perhaps Diddy thought it was best for everyone if he just took the slap and swallowed his pride. However, Diddy didn't expect anyone to witness this moment, and up until now, Keith remains the only person who had seen that. While there were no other witnesses, and it's hard to verify Keith's claims, it seems like this situation could actually happen, considering Shug's explosive nature, and it feels like Knight was waiting for too long to make another blow against his industry enemy, and the first thing he would like to do when he gets out of jail is to finally ruin Diddy. Many fans believe that this is the only thought that cheers Shug up while he is working his way out of jail. And while one man rots in jail, another reaps all the best from the industry and basically crowns himself as a king of hip-hop. Well, this may not be for long, as fans are truly waiting for Shug to be back and show Diddy who's the boss in the house. As one user wrote, Shug should go on with his life once he get out. Diddy Day is coming. And another user wrote, yep, Puffy will get what's coming to him. You can run, but you can't hide. They will find you. Well, before Diddy became the main figure in the rap industry, he had to constantly prove his worth as a producer because Suge Knight was still in the game. And boy, his Death Row records made several great artists of all the time, including Tupac, Dr. Dre, and Snoop Dogg. And while it's hard to deny Suge's talents in finding and promoting true talents, his relationships with the justice system were quite rocky, and his history of legal troubles is long. In 1996, Knight was involved in a scuffle just hours before his artist Tupac was shot and killed, thus violating the terms of his parole. He was sentenced to 9 years in prison, but managed to go out after 4 years behind the bars in 1997. But it didn't help the powerful producer to become more law, obedient, and humble. In 2003, he was again arrested and ended up spending 10 months in jail for slugging a parking lot valet outside a Los Angeles nightclub. It wasn't been a year that Suge wasn't involved into something criminal, and it aggravated his music business. He eventually lost control of his label and announced his bankruptcy in 2006. Knight filed for bankruptcy and declared both himself and Death Row Up Records bankrupt. He claims debts of more than $100 million. It felt like his fall was only a matter of time, and apart from him dragging himself into one trouble after another, it definitely felt like someone was trying to eliminate him at the same time. Although many people may argue with that fact, but Shug is quite lucky not get killed because there were several attempts at his life since his beef with Diddy had started. In 2005, Knight was shot at a West Maf DV Music Awards party in Miami, and 9 years later, in 2014, he survived 6 bullets and surgery. That time, he was shot at a party hosted by Chris Brown. He proved again and again that it takes more than bullets to get rid of him, and apparently, only his legal problems could get him out from the picture. 1 year later, after surviving Chris Brown's party, Knight was arrested on suspicion of murder over a fatal hit and run incident that left one man dead. He turned himself into lapped and later sentenced to 28 years in jail. But even serving his time in jail, Shug still dreams of those days when he ran the studio and the streets. His misses his powerful friends who ranged from famous rap stars to gang lords. And apparently, he thinks that Diddy stole everything from him and used Shug's incarcerations as his chance to raise to the power in the industry. Well, Diddy was quite relaxed and allowed himself to do a lot of stuff while Shug was in jail, but seems like he's coming back, and many fans believe that Diddy is scared out of his wit thinking of what the future beef with the once most feared music mogul would bring. Many people are happy to hear the news of Shug coming back because it would mean the end of Diddy's reign in the industry. As one user commented, good, now maybe Diddy will pay for what he did to all the other people since the police won't. Hurry up, Shug. And another user doubts that Shug has any desire to mess with Diddy ever again, saying, why would we get out? Do something like going after someone, only to end up right back in there. I doubt he has any plans on something that stupid. The dude is near 60 years old, but it seems like Shug still has that desire to shut Diddy up, and all he can think about is how he would be back in the game and hold the hip-hop community in his tight grip once he manages to get rid of Diddy and end his reign. And what do you reckon? Is Shug going out of jail to take his throne as a mighty music mogul? And will he be able to make his comeback as a producer? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'm eager to know what you're thinking. And in the meantime, check my other video about celebrities feuds. Well, that's all for today. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned, and I promise to be back very soon.